Hello everyone, Kireth here, and today I've discovered something in Gran Turismo 7 that I think is fundamentally unfair in sport mode. Now, if you follow this channel, you'll know that I like doing these races in extreme weather here, and when I was doing one today, I saw in the top right this new wind speed indicator that's been brought in by the latest patch. And my first thought was, well, I presume that that is turned off in sport mode qualifying because that would be really unfair. But as you can see, it is not turned off in sport mode qualifying. And as I'm going to explain in this video, I think this is really unfair to casual players who want to casually play Gran Turismo 7 sport mode. So let's get into it. Why is this really unfair? Well, to kind of work out what's going on, I took the same car that I was using in Daily Race B. It's Nissan R34 Skyline. And I took it without any difference to modifications to Tokyo Expressway. The reason being that Tokyo Expressway, this layout has a massive straight. And by the way, I'm not sure whether Gran Turismo 7 is going to be sophisticated enough to not apply the wind speed in the tunnel. But anyway, so you can see here we've got a massive tailwind. Now, if you're a cyclist, you'll really understand tailwinds and headwinds. So when you have a tailwind behind you, it is really pushing you along. So let's see what top speed we get up to here. And I decided to go up until the 100-meter braking board. So before I lift off a brake or anything, we're going to freeze and we're going to see what the speed is. So we're coming up to the 100-meter board right about now, and we're 156 miles an hour. So with a headwind behind us, pushing us along in this Nissan R34 Skyline that I'm going to use for the daily race, we're going 156 miles an hour. So let's see what happens when we get a tailwind. So I've quit out, come back in, and we've got a 4.6 meters a second headwind. And again, if you're a cyclist, you'll know what it's like having that headwind in your face, just pushing you back, making it even more difficult to achieve your top speed. The equation for aerodynamic drag has a square in it. It gets progressively more difficult to kind of get that extra speed. So let's see what happens in this Skyline as we get to the 100-meter board. And I could kind of even feel that it was struggling to get up to speed as quickly as with the tailwind. So here we go up into fifth gear, and we're going to hit the 100-meter board at 152 miles an hour. So that is a huge 4 mile an hour difference. 4 miles an hour is absolutely huge down a straight. I mean, that is, you know, you won't be able to overtake. You'll get overtaken easily. It's a massive difference. And to make sure that I wasn't getting this wrong, I did it again. And when I did it again, with both the headwind and the tailwind, exactly the same results. So 156 miles an hour with the tailwind pushing us along. And again, it was 152 with the headwind in our face pushing us back. So yeah, the wind is really dynamic. And the reason why this is unfair, to get to the core point, is ultimately a lot of people are just not going to know about this. You know, I'm making this video, I'm quite a small channel, and the vast majority of Gran Turismo 7 players are not going to hear about this. And therefore, you might think that you're really struggling to match your friends' times or get where you want to be on the leaderboard, and you might not notice because of the wind speed. And that's just really unfair. I mean, it's just not very well signposted. I've had to do all this deduction to work it out. You can see here, Daily Race B, you know, this is going to be a headwind in our face down that straight. Now, you can say the straights might even them out sometimes, but it's just going to be another variable that people don't know about. Certain cars are going to fare better with a big headwind. And let me know what you think about this in the comments, because yes, you can keep restarting like I'm doing here to get a favourable wind. And, you know, we've got a kind of a favourable wind here, so I'm going to go down the straight and we're going to get a bit of extra speed for free. And my fix is, if they really want to make the time trialling completely dynamic, and by the way, my background is I've done a lot of iRacing, 24-hour racing, iRacing, loads of iRacing stuff. iRacing is also completely dynamic. Then there shouldn't be the ability to have this kind of unlimited time trial period and carry that qualifying time into the race. If they want the qualifying to be dynamic, in my view, it should be a 1-lap qualifying before the race. And then there's the same dynamic environment for everyone. You know you've qualified in the same conditions. And it adds that excitement of, well, hang on, I don't know what the conditions are going to be like in my qualifying. Maybe in some qualifying sessions it's going to be wet. And it'll be wet for everyone. Maybe there's going to be a massive headwind or a tailwind and you just don't know. But the fact that you can game it and you can keep restarting and you can restart it until you get a massive tailwind, and a lot of people won't know about that, just seems to be a factor that is, in my view, unfair against the honest, hard-working Gran Turismo 7 player, comes home from work, wants to get on sport mode, race against other people, and just might not understand why their times aren't competitive. So again, it's another video of mine in this kind of series of trying to demystify Gran Turismo 7. Do feel free to share it if you think it's helpful. Feel free to like, subscribe, all of that good stuff as well. But yeah, an interesting one here. I'm not really sure why they haven't messaged this, but another example of how the multiplayer in Gran Turismo 7 is, at the moment, seems a little bit unfair. But there we go. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.